everyone, and thank you so much for joining us at today's Meet the Cast interview. These interviews are powered by Aspire Integrated Media, who made this film Mosquito possible. My name is Selena Igwe, the writer and director, and today we have the amazing Vatekeh, who plays Sister Coretta in Mosquito. Hi, Zoe.
Hello, how are you guys?
How are you?
Finding yourself?
Good, good. I am glad you are well. The first question is, what role do you play in the film Mosquito? I already said that.
I play Sister Coretta. Basically, she's like one of the elders and on the board that in the church that has a lot of power. And because she's been there so long, she's very respected. And I'll keep that like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she is very respected. She's a very powerful character. You did her very well. You are a powerful woman yourself. But you're a lot kinder, I will say. But I love that you totally took her on and made her come alive in a very, realistic way. It was very great work. Mm-hmm. So as an actress, when did you decide to get into acting and become an actress?
Wow. So I guess I would say elementary. Okay. There was a teacher, if I'm correct, her name was Miss Boucher. And they were doing plays and skits. And basically from there, she kind of groomed us and let us know that even though other people would say, hey, that's not a real job, as they used to say, or they would kind of put it down. And I just kind of stuck with it because usually when people say I can't do it, I'm usually the person to try to press on to say I can do it.
Watch me. Exactly.
Yeah. So throughout school, I kind of held on to it. Elementary, middle school, high school, college. And I just stuck with it. I held on to it and had a grasp. I continued to hone my craft, excuse me. Mm-hmm. But I never let it go. So
that's good. Mm-hmm. I think that's a true passion because you're right. There, especially back then. I know nowadays with how basically now this with YouTube and all that. It's just what it happens
easier.
Now. They realize it's a career. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But back then it was definitely frowned upon. I remember even I was told that's just a hobby. That's not a real career. What do you really want to do? Or what are you really going to go to school and college for? You can't just be an actor. What's your real job? And it was hard to get through that. But I think that kind of resilience and that kind of I'm going to do this anyway because this is something I love and this makes me happy. I think that's what also helps to make you and those like you such great actors though, and such great people in general, the ones that overcome and the ones that say I'm still going to, even though everybody else around me says no. Right. It takes a resilience and a beautiful passion. I think that's good. It's good for young people to know. Just because someone says you can't doesn't mean you can't. Right. You can totally. Right. Yeah. So the entertainment industry is said to be full of stress and pressure. What do you do to tackle the pressure that comes with your work?
What? Everyone has pressure. Tackle the pressure. I pray.
Yes.
That happens regardless of whatever is taking place. I definitely pray to release a stress. I just kind of stay focused, stay in the zone, and I try not to allow outside variables kind of get in the way of what I have going on. So I guess to answer your question, I just press on. I press on. I stay committed. I stay focused. I feel like when you focus on the outside things that don't matter, then that's going to cause more stress. If you just stay in the zone of what you're doing, then you'll already be there. So when the outside variables or obstacles come, you just ignore it. Just kind of ignore it. Yes. It's hard, but it is. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, what you say reminds me of when I was taking theater in my high school. Our teacher was talking to us about what they used to call, I don't know if they teach this anymore in theater, but they used to call it OOTS, which means which means your observation, obstacle, I'm sorry, and tactic. I might be ruining that, but basically you
the
keep
concept.
Yeah, the concept is you keep your eye on objective. That's what it was. Sorry, I totally butchered that. So OOTS means objective, obstacle, and tactics. So and they're teaching us that as a character, and this can go in anywhere in life, but as a character, you have an objective, right? And you keep your eye on the objective, even if obstacles are coming. You don't even look at the obstacles. You keep your eyes on the objective as an actor, and then you use the tactics to get around the obstacles. And I think that's exactly what you're saying of like, keep your eye on your objective. Keep your eye on what your goals and what you're trying to do, because obstacles are going to come. And if you look at them, bam, your eye is off your objective, and you're not going to get anywhere like that. But if you keep your eye on the objective, you simply use tactics like prayer, like counseling, like decompression, like whatever it is to allow you to get through those obstacles, then you can continue to follow your objective and reach your goals. So yeah,
I think I dig in deeper, like I get more engulfed in it. I know that sounds crazy, because some people say, oh, I go relax, I listen to music. No, I get deeper in it so I can be more comfortable. So then when outside things come, I'm already zoned out. I already know it. I'm there.
Yeah. Great.
It's a lot of years of practice.
Yes. And it's not easy. You're right. It's really not easy. It does take practice, and some days are better than others. That's for sure. Yeah, I agree. What advice do you have for young people who are starting out their careers, specifically related into film or acting?
I would definitely tell them, try not to lose yourself. Have a strong foundation. If you have a strong foundation and a support team, those are the people that are not going to leave you. They're not going to betray you. They're not going to lure you into doing anything crazy. Just stay true to who you are. Because once you start veering off and trying different stuff and dibbling, dabbling in different things, as you will, it gets fuzzy. And your focus gets fuzzy. It throws you off on your craft. Your talent isn't as strong as it usually is. You're not as skilled. So I would just say, stick to your guns. Stay with your foundation, regardless of how crazy it might seem, regardless of no one else is doing it. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to have. If you do fall, that's who's going to have your back when you do fall. That's going to be your support team.
Yeah. That's great advice. Great advice. So young people, listen. If you didn't listen, go ahead and rewind that a little bit, play it back again, write some notes. For Mosquito, so we talked about Sister Coretta. How is she like you, and how is she different from you? All right.
So Sister Coretta is probably me in like 25 powers up, but she's a me. I can relate to the character because she is stern, and when she has something in her mind, she is gonna stick with it, and no one can deter her or make her waver to the left or to the right. So I will say we have that in common, that strength. How she isn't me, I like to research and investigate things, and not giving away the story, but sometimes everything is not as it appears to be. So I am a person who will kind of research, look it up, check into it a little bit more before I react or act on things. So that's how we're a little bit different.
Yep, I would agree with that assessment. You're a lot more diplomatic, we should say, than she is.
Not on the fly.
Yeah. What is the first thing you do to research and approach your role?
I have different methods. So just to name a few, there's like a 14 step that one of my coach, Cindy Hogan, has, where you analyze every part and portion of the character. Now, I will say this, sometimes you don't have time to do all of these steps. Mm-hmm. So say, for instance, you get a quick audition and you have to like manifest that character, then I would just read the lines, dig deep, put myself in it. And when I'm actually saying the lines, what she taught us is to talk, conversational. Don't just recite the lines, kind of talk with it, conversational, make it your own, start reading in between with the context, and just start going through self-context and going word by word. And then once you make it conversational or relatable to you, that's how you could, make it yourself versus just saying la, 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 la. And you're like, oh, okay, she knows how to recite lines, but there's no feeling or emotion behind it. So yeah, if I have time, I go through the steps. If I don't have time, I pull some of the steps and I go from there. So yeah.
Good. That's good. And you totally approach the character that way. I remember everybody's auditions specifically, but I definitely remember yours because you showed up as her. Like it made it very difficult for me to think of anybody else as the character because you embodied her fully. Yeah. And like you said, you didn't know anything but the sides and a little bit of an excerpt into who she kind of is. But and you took her on and you made it natural to what, like you said, of what you experience and how you can relate to the character in a conversational way. And I think that way of doing it, especially whenever it came to the callbacks and you had to do it with another person in the scene, that helped with the other actor too. Because if you're coming in as a natural character, it's easier to